future always begins with a blank page. Freestyle, prose poem, epic, or parable, tomorrow is an inevitability of the imagination, and no one knows how the story will end. The future is the place where we've been living since we invented timekeeping and started writing stories about it as if it were a real place. But we have to start somewhere, and Isaac Asimov is as good a place as any. He wasn't the first science fiction writer to come up with robots. That honor could arguably be given to Mary Shelley's creature, who came shambling onto the scene in the 1810s. But he was the one who gave an important imprimatur to the concept. Asimov's three laws of robotics, a logic tree of mandates machines should obey in order to preserve and protect their creators, set his robots apart from all the rest and established a high bar for all that came afterward, whether good or evil. They bound these marvelous devices to our will, to our service, and guaranteed that we would never have to go to war with them. Also, that we would never have to compete with them, since part of the obedience was that they would never supplant human beings. Having grown up on science fiction, so much so that I decided I wanted to write it, robots have been a constant in my personal vision of what the future will be like. Decidedly, it hasn't quite turned out that way. Robbie was the first one to fully realize, for a lot of people, myself included, what a robot should be. Big, strong, friendly in an English butler sort of way, the best friend of young ladies in need of an unpresumptive guardian. Robbie was ahead of its time in many other ways which did not become obvious until recently. For a long time, this was the model, the prototype, the goal. The idea that a robot might replace a flesh and blood partner in the heart of some has continued as a tantalizing theme and may yet find more solid example in the mechanisms of the future. Maybe we've been trying to rehabilitate Frankenstein's monster ever since, instinctively knowing that once conceived, human ingenuity will eventually make what is imagined real. Resulting in Asimov, a walking, talking example of the promise of Asimov's prognostications. Once Asimov walked onto the technological stage, how many people thought the future was finally about to arrive? Now we have one walking around serving drinks. How long before we build one that will drive the car, do the shopping, take care of the lawn, and repair the roof? Not quite noticing, perhaps, unless we happen to be in an industry where one has already displaced us, that robots of very useful and tangible capabilities have been with us for some time now. But these angular collections of components don't look anything like what we've been waiting for. Who wants something that looks like a piece of roadworking equipment hanging around the house, even if it can do most of the chores? The trap is the ambiguity of the idea of helping. Helping with what? Labor-saving devices are all well and good, but how much labor of what kind do we hand over to machines? We're now making machines that already know what to do and can reprogram themselves for new tasks. It's fair to ask the question then, what will they need us for? This is von Neumann. Science fiction has embraced his ideas. We love the whole concept of the von Neumann machine, which is basically a machine which can replicate itself. Mainly, however, von Neumann was interested in computers and computer architecture, and his ideas have opened the door to artificial intelligence, which is another subject science fiction loves. We love it because science fiction is nothing without ideas to turn over and inside out. Ideas about things we haven't done yet, things we may not even have thought about yet. And this is one at the very heart of human obsessions, one that we've been playing with since Mary Shelley's monster ambled across the literary scene. There are many ways to pose the question, but maybe the best way is the least polite way. What makes us think we're so special? Special as in irreplaceable, as in unique, as in having no real need to justify our existence. We are the thinking animal. We build things. We construct worlds both to live in and to compare and to play with ideas. We make our own reality. And then imagine threats from outside, invading, trying to undo our masterpieces. Threats are unifying. Threats are inspirational. Threats drive us. Threats make great drama, and we've written great stories about fighting off the nemesis. In the meantime, we build more, never quite understanding that we are the biggest threat of all. Our stories are taking us to a solution in which we become our own creation. To defeat the threat, we become one with it and turn the outsider into us, or us into the outsider. In either case, the distinction between creator and creation is blurring. We began writing stories about our own Adams and Eves, but to make sure we knew the difference, we didn't trespass too far into off-limits preserves. We made them obvious, so we get the menace of the machine, bipedal slaves so distinctly artificial, no confusion could result. But the more you work at an idea, the more it becomes your fantasy. The more you want it to be perfect. And so the machine becomes closer to the ideal. After all, wouldn't we like to remake each other to fit our own expectations? If we can't have the perfect companion, maybe we can build one. But while fantasizing about such godlike possibilities, what we really end up building are machines that look more like this and do things for us we never imagined ever wanting a machine to do. Machines that fix our bodies, pave our roads, build our world, cook our food. More and more, they even decide how, to the point of rebuilding themselves to do the job even better. And the better they get, the more we have to ask ourselves, where are we going? So Asimov may yet have been the model, binding these marvelous things to our very being. We may find ourselves living in a city of machines, being cared for and protected, our needs, even our whims, met with unquestioning loyalty and efficiency. But to make sure they get it right, they have to understand us even better, and we have to teach them. Is it possible to teach a machine the utility of a playground so that it will understand what it is we need one for, so that we never forget the whole point of all our endeavors is to be more ourselves? To do that, maybe we have to become more machine, and so the machine will become more us, bringing us finally to that indeterminate future, finally, where we have all options open, all possibilities to hand, and yet have no idea how anything will play out. Mind is a nebulous concept, one that encompasses as well as expands and shapes as it is shaped. In science fiction, the question is always, what will we want to do tomorrow?